Hi guys, welcome to City Skylines, episode 6, 2.0. Because I forgot to activate the save for the last episode that I recorded, we have problems. Anyway, after last episode before I forgot to save the game, probably because the game glitched or something, or it got new mods, is that I built an entirely new interchange. Yeah, that's gone now, so we're gonna just follow a car in the city. This car, Genos, going shopping. Chris Cooks resides at the Woodland residence at the big city, and he's going to Beach City. I'm assuming. So let's see. As you can see, there's a problem. So as they drive like 80 miles on the highway, there's a huge problem. Let's say you want to live here in Beach City. Let's say you live here. If you guys want to go to work at the Ore District or the Emerson Heights, you have to drive. You can take the bus service, but that takes a while. So you have to pretty much drive. That's the only option. And as we come into oops, as we come into the city at like 100 miles per hour, we would have to destroy like most of Maple City in order for this to be sustainable. Because right now, the Beach City, Maple City Covenant or Alliance doesn't really work anymore. The Beach City, Maple City Covenant Alliance doesn't work, as you can see, because the bridge is overfilled. Also, yes, these are modded ore trucks. Also, for some reason, there's a your uranium plant. I don't know why there's uranium on the map. Don't ask. I don't know if they're building a nuke or something, but okay. And I don't know why it's needed in this city of all places. So right now, as you can see, it's not efficient at all. It gets its job barely done, and you can hardly say it does its job. Because you go to traffic, it's heavy. It's light on this side, but heavy on this side. Now, especially since I'm using the real-time mod, it's gonna only get worse from here. Especially when I build new houses and a billion people just show up out of nowhere. So what we're gonna do, because we have huge demand, is that people decide to move into Beach City. And I'm gonna prove my point with this. A bunch of people move in. The Beach City mayor wants to build a big avenue, so he calls it Beach City Newtown. A two-way highway that shows up and lines up with the rest of Beach City and connects in a sort of triangle, slope too steep, never too steep, and a sort of T shape. And yes, I know this is a two-way roundabout, but I can fix that. And it's going to be a three-lane roundabout with a its three-lane road entrance. This is to exit the city, and yeah. What? Yeah, this happens for some reason. I don't know why, but it just does. So stop whining. I don't know if people show up to work here, so I don't know why. So I don't want to like ruin it. Why are people? Oh, it's the wrong way around. It's the wrong way around. It's the wrong way around. This is supposed to be the exit to the city, which means yeah, your little town thing doesn't really work. Also, don't know where these giant robot things show up from, but they're kind of scary sometimes. They used to spook me, which is really annoying, and especially when I'm in the underground view. That's why I don't like building underground. Well, and then there's the Costco delivery truck glitch, which is it's like a mini gap, a baby gap. Actually, I think it's so small that there isn't even a gap. I think it's so small that there's no gap. I don't think there's a gap. Let's check. There is a gap, but it's so small that you could just say. And the trucks don't like go invisible and despawn in there and respawn. As you can see, people have to go here. Except that I don't think people want to do that. Also, what? Okay, so we're gonna establish the mandate. You go straight, you go straight, and you have to go into this lane. Don't ask why there's trees on the road. That's because I have road anarchy on, prop anarchy on, which means there's trees on the road. But don't worry, it's not that dangerous. As long as you don't let the tree anarchy be run by anarchists, like actual anarchists in real life, then you're fine. Page up around the surface. It's going to build the new neighborhood in Beach City because there's a huge demand and Beach City wants to service it before their competitor, since the practical coup in the downtown, in the where the downtown is supposed to be. So Beach City has an immense rivalry. Even the people kind of hate each other. So the high schools, the big high school, and the government's considering moving the big high school to the new city, to to the area with the most residents. Still, Beach City seems to be winning the rivalry race of being the one to be the capital, of being the capital, also of the county. And Beach City wants to be the capital of the country, replacing the city of Ottawa. However, Parliament Hill is however, old folks from the 80-year-olds are stopping their plans because they call them lousies. They're lousy idiots who think that they're the best, according to the Beach City tax code. And they actually the lousy people who from Ottawa, is a prejudice where they get forced to pay taxes twice as high as everyone else, as every other citizen. Which, when if you're a libertarian and you say taxation is theft, you would consider this haram. You would consider this murder, because taxation is theft. You're stealing. Also, what? Why is it not letting me make this go down? Ah, whatever. The hot elements will force it down. But anyway, they service the massive residential demand with a bunch of huge lots. They also build a few commercial zones. And then a big company called Walmart shows up and says, I think I want to service this neighborhood, this county. Beach City is the epitome of what it is the epitome. Every Beach City wants to be number one. However, the country isn't letting them be number one, says Beach City. Oh, I think I might need to make this a 6-lane road. Uh-oh. That's not good. How big is a 6-lane road again? Yeah, it's big. That's really big. That's huge. And worse, you can zone things. So if I mass zone, I might accidentally select this. And there'll be houses in the roundabout, which would be horrible. Anyway, we just make these highway signals here real quick. And the I-23. So we have a 3-lane road coming into the other 3-lane road, which makes it it's only in mathematics. Except that nobody wants to follow lane. An idea called lane mathematics is invented by some people on the internet. The city chooses to follow it as if it's a religion. Okay, so basically the idea is that all the lanes continue doing what they're doing. They continue staying straight. That's what they're supposed to do, and not do whatever you just saw there. Actually, this is too many lanes. I think I'll just reduce it back to 3. What's this? The lanes are small again. Okay. Hooligan, Mulligan, Mulligan, Bali, Balik, Zalek. So red is the farthest, so they get the farthest, farthest, farthest. The hot Sicily. So pink is the first lane that's forced out, replaced by red. The others continue. Then we have the switch lane, which basically everyone can switch to whatever. Everyone's forced to switch to whatever they want. It's kind of funny. But why are they driving on the edges of the road? That's suspicious. Then you go. Blue will force itself out. You will go out, and you will come in. This should fix it. Easy. So now you have cars coming in multiple lanes, and they're using all the lanes. Whoa, these cars are huge. I just realized how big these are. This is a vanilla car. Except that all this traffic suddenly shows up, which is scary sometimes. What's the priority road? Control shift click. Priority road. Priority road. So your something went wrong because everyone's coming in here and then they turn left. I think we have traffic problems. So how do these guys stop? These guys keep stopping. There's no traffic lights here. They abolished traffic lights like the BLM protesters. Because traffic lights are racist. Oh wait, it's rush hour. Everyone's going home. I just remembered. So that would. This interchange is choked. Well, it was choked. I think we can get away with keeping it. However, this might choke the bigger this might get choked the bigger Beach City gets. So you have the 3 bus lines, all blue still, and yeah, we have the Emerson Heights wants to expand. But now since all the demand in the county has moved into Beach City, these guys have to make a plan. Tourism. They are going to be the tourist trap and compete with Beach City for tourists. And sadly, terrorists who don't like Canada, apparently. So it's going to continue this until there's a water. So, Beach City. So, Erskine Heights, until you guys give me a name in the comments, please give me a name. Will expand its road till the beach. That's that main long road. And everything east, west of the big highway, the railway line, is going to be low residential. Everything east is going to be a grid that isn't curvy and isn't diagonal like this is, and I kind of don't like it, so I might demolish the whole of this town later in a new episode. I'll just make a tsunami as an excuse to demolish this. And I'll be roughly over here so that most of it gets wiped out by land. And then right here. So it might wipe out the industry, but I don't care. I just want a mass county flood. So, yeah. So everyone's happy, and the last and episode 3 disaster is a little in distant memory now, like really distant memory, because most Sims don't live. So Sims apparently only live 3 years in game. So a bunch of straight line roads. We'll have roads that go diagonally, and then we'll have some paths. Then we'll have a path that crosses the tracks. Because I'm apparently a psycho who thinks path track crossing is good. So they built a bunch of residential housing. Okay. Commercial. Commercial. So now we have a bunch of shops and the houses. But there's no demand. So how are we gonna get the house? So how are we gonna expand the town in the city? Well, when they're planning to be the first. They built the second high school in the county, except that the elementary school availability is in the gutter with like 400 of eligible and a capacity of 0. Jesus, this is dangerous. No wonder they can't. Now imagine what would happen. They can't get workers. In a public library. And because this is full of elderly people, they built a public library. So the Maple Hills or Maple City is, decides to expand its lots, except that their industry is in the way. But it's the only generic industry in the city, because the others are tourist based, want to be tourist centric. Tourism. They have to. They are planning to build a tourist. They're planning to build a based economy, an economy of chaos. So people are tired of going 300 miles just to get to work. Some people decide it's a good idea to just, why don't you just abandon it temporarily? People are tired of going 345 miles just to go to work. Because, driving is expensive, you need gas and stuff. Especially if you have to go on the highway every single day. So some people decide to build a small community. So some people decide they want to live here because it's kind of pretty. Look, because they don't want to live by the river. They want to live near the start. They either want to live near the joints, where the river connects, or the points, where the river doesn't. The joints, or the points. Where's road anarchy? I don't know, road anarchy broke. Except that they built a dam. How come this only shows up when you're building the road? Nah, it just caused like a flood or something. Height too high. Height too high. Height too high. Height too high. So now we have some flood problems, but that's gonna be fixed by like the day's end. So people continue to move in. They build homes. Except that apparently the housing process because there's a finance so the housing market collapses. Uh oh. So some people decide to build a house. So a few people build a few cottages far enough away from the industry that they can work, close enough that they can work, but close enough that they can go to work. So no rich people homes, but also far enough that they can still live nearby. They're still inside of the industry zone, the legal industry zone. Not gonna lie, these kind of look like train tracks. So people come in and set up shop, building some houses. What's their pipe source? A grainy old water tower. This town was founded by like 10 industrial workers, by the way. And of course, because these are industrial workers, they hook it up to here. They pump it here, and the industry wants to get rid of its industrial waste better, so it decides to connect with that. So they begin pumping industrial waste into the river for like 2 seconds. Also, windmills are expensive if you didn't know. So the industry decides to offer them, but their offer them some money to build a small windmill. So now you have sewage being pumped into the ground. The sewage, which is where the water, which will affect everyone downstream. And people probably would rely on these because there's probably small communities here. So this very sharp triangle thing. So these uneducated industry folk just dumping their sewage in here. The most basic sewage pipe. Okay, let's see what's inside of the city Skylines sewage pipe. Oh, I see. It's not even a sewage outlet. Look, there's a wall, so that shouldn't be sewage. Look here. Here's a comparison of the model without the sewage piping. This is the same model. There's no sewage piping. It's all grimy and broken. Like what happens in here? They just pump it. They build a. What's the box for? If it's just not filtered. Ah, fine. You might need to worry about the drinking water pollution, though. Homes. I should probably set a home theme quickly before the demand rises and we get ugly homes. This is what I mean by like what I think people would like need use to live in. Big mansion houses. Big houses. Either big houses with a lot of land used up or smaller ones. There isn't much people living here, so they would probably use up the grass. Now, some of these industrial workers have been saving up money wanting to start up their own small towns. And instead, because there's a small town being founded, they just plop their houses here nearby. And even the wealthy show up and build a few houses. So now I have a small bunch of industrial slash a few rich people homes. No, a few rich people homes, which will generate tons of profit. Except that sometimes this happens, so you can't build it there. There's a floating house, so you might want to build a few more. So this community has a few households. Nice. Okay, let's see the street names. Who's coming here? Because right now, who comes here? Okay, so we need to find them. Most of them it seems like they're only coming from one side of the map, two sides of both sides of the map. Let's find them. Let's find them. Let's find them. Okay, so here's one of the residents. Here's a car. Brick House 1. Oh god, he's gonna be disappointed. Okay, sadly he's educated and they wanted uneducated people for this. But okay, he's good enough. He's driving on the highway. At 140 miles per hour. I have industry demand. I'll serve that later. Switch lanes drastically. I don't think that's natural though. I wish they made it like smoother or something so I could slower. People don't switch that fast. If they did, it would all cause crashes and stuff. So a bridge over the road. Trees in the road, I think that's normal, seeing how often they occur in my builds with the dream prop anarchy. Anyway, we'll end the episode when this guy gets to his house. You are getting tail wagoned by a truck. Truck goes ahead, truck continues. You continue driving. He told you the house clerk told you it was somewhere here. You have to turn. The road quality begins to go from really good to suspicious. And of course, slow. Though I think they would allow you to go like 40 miles per hour. So some people are leaving. The guy continues driving. Now it's just a residence. The guy continues driving. This is suspicious. Oh, it's a small neighborhood town. Nice. The road quality drops again. Bruh! Please, this isn't good. With that big wall drop. I don't think we'll live here though. I'll live here. And because it's so small here, uh, they requested a small bus service. Because they didn't really want to be like those CO2 people who make so much CO2 and cause the end of the world or something. And of course, because they're grimy and far away, the county just gave them a retired school bus. And of course, the line color was orange. So this retired school bus for the line. And of course, the max vehicles will be one. And this retired school bus shows up in the industry sector of the old town. Battered and tattered, the old bus begins to rev up its engines and begin the drive. I know we're ending the episode because I think we reached over 14 minutes.